We made it clear that as long as the Ukrainians do not restart crude oil shipments to Hungary, we will block all EU decisions that are important to Ukraine tomorrow. They plan to adopt the 20th sanctions package at the Foreign Affairs Council meeting. We will block this decision tomorrow. The Ukrainians decided this week not to restart crude oil shipments to Hungary. This is blatant political blackmail, with which the Ukrainians intended, on the one hand, to create a petrol price of 1,000 forints, and on the other, to cause a supply disruption in Hungary. With the parliamentary elections approaching, and since everyone knows that the Ukrainians want to see a pro-Ukrainian government in Budapest, we have fended off this attempt aimed at creating a supply disruption. We have released part of our oil reserves and have already begun procuring replacements via maritime routes, which are currently on their way. We also made a decision this week to halt diesel fuel shipments to Ukraine, which accounted for roughly 10% of Ukrainian imports, and we decided to block the disbursement of the €90 billion war loan to Ukraine. In addition, we made it clear that as long as the Ukrainians do not restart crude oil shipments to Hungary, we will block all EU decisions that are important to Ukraine tomorrow. They plan to adopt the 20th sanctions package at the Foreign Affairs Council meeting. We will block this decision tomorrow. We will not consent to the adoption of the 20th sanctions package, because we had previously made it clear that until the Ukrainians restart crude oil shipments to Hungary, we will not allow decisions that are important to them to go through. So tomorrow, at the Foreign Affairs Council meeting, Hungary will block the adoption of the 20th sanctions package, and this will remain the case as long as the Ukrainians do not restart crude oil shipments to Hungary. Today, we also reviewed issues related to electricity supply. Almost half of Ukraine's electricity imports come from Hungary. However, we have determined that we must proceed with extreme caution in this matter, as Hungarians also live on the other side of the border, and halting electricity exports would primarily affect Transcarpathia. It would cause particular problems, challenges, and suffering for those families living on the other side of the border. Therefore, we must proceed very carefully in this matter. Our dispute is not with the people living in Ukraine, nor with the families living in Ukraine. Our dispute in this matter is with the Ukrainian state, the Ukrainian government, and the opposition president. We do not want to cause even more suffering to the Ukrainian people, which is why we must proceed with extreme caution regarding the electricity issue. However, there will be a Foreign Affairs Council meeting in Brussels tomorrow. Until now, the expectation was that the 20th sanctions package would be adopted at this meeting. That will not be the case.